Okay, and then sorry, you probably maybe have to get up again, but not recording you, so it might not matter. Oh, we lost somebody. We lost Linda. Well, I imagine she'll come back. Let's do the other leg. We've been there a while. Okay, good. Yep, and then so on this side, second side, the bottom leg, again, spread the toes and reach out through the heel. So the foot's super active and all the little muscles are engaged. The foot that's in the air, if you want calf stretch, then bring the strap a little bit closer towards the ball of the foot. And take a few breaths. And on this side, let's do the same thing of feeling the sensations. Welcome back, Linda. Feeling the sensations of lying on the ground. So what does it feel like to be supported here? How's your breath? Is it possible or is it necessary to relax your belly a little bit more so that you can breathe deeply? Last breath or two. And then reach out through the heel of your bottom leg. Let's bring it back up so both legs are up. And then we'll put the strap on the other leg, the leg we started with, lower. So now we're back where we started and we're going to come out to the side. So place both straps in the hand of the same side as the foot. And then a little bit, if you can turn your toes out from the hip, and then let the leg come down as you stay grounded through the bottom leg. And then similarly to what we did on Monday with the grounding and the rooting down through the foot, even though the foot is not touching anything, and I'm talking about the foot that's on the ground, it can still be grounding in the sense that we can reach out through the heel and be very strong in the bottom leg and feel the balls of the feet a little bit reaching away from you. Nice. And then we'll bring the leg back up. And just for a moment, hug the knee in towards the chest, give a little squeeze. And then back up in the air, and then we'll lift the bottom leg, switch sides again. And then getting tangled in my strap. So now we have second side, second pose, reaching out through the heels of both feet, spreading the toes, being really grounded in the bottom leg. And then look at your foot, the one that's in the air, turn the toes out by turning the hip. So turning at the head of the femur bone right at the top, and then let the leg go out to the side. And stay as grounded as possible. Looks like you guys are doing a great job with that, staying really grounded through the bottom leg. And using the foot, even though it's not touching the ground, as a grounding. So reaching out through the foot as though we were in a standing pose and we were grounding through the back leg. Another breath. And then we'll bring that leg back up, release the strap, and can hug both knees into the chest, make little circles if you like. Eventually, let's roll to the side. You can come up and down, however you get there. We're going to come to all fours. Yeah, I've been into the rolling back and forth. I hadn't done that in a long time until recently. It feels really good. Okay, and we'll do a few cats and cows. So wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, more or less. And when you're ready, we can be really flowy and more about the breath, inhaling, coming into that big back arch, and exhaling, pushing the floor away, rounding through the spine. And then continue in your own time, your own tempo, letting it be really all about the breath. These dynamic poses, I probably said on Monday, really, we don't need them to be any particular thing. We can let it be all about breathing deeply. And letting the movement flow and match the breath and tempo and feeling and tone. One or two more. Good. And then we'll come into our first down dog. So whenever you're ready, tuck your toes, hips up and back. And there we go. So feel free to pedal out your feet. It can feel really nice too to shift to the outer edge of one foot. Just let the feet roll open a bit so that you get a stretch through the side of the body. And then rolling over the balls of the feet so that you're on the edges, the inside edge of one leg, the outer edge of the other. The hips are off to the side. That's the way. Nice. One or two more breaths. And then when you feel ready, take your time and we'll walk to the top of the mat. Find your way to Uttanasana, standing forward fold, and just hang out. Let your head be heavy, neck relaxed, jaw relaxed. Yeah. The heavier that you can make the head, then the more traction we get through the spine, the more release between the vertebrae. This is such a good pose for that. All right. And then bring your hands to your outer hips. Draw your elbows towards each other and then really press through the feet. Inhale to come up to stand. Find your way into Tadasana, and let's pause just for a moment. If you like, you can close your eyes, especially if that helps you to tune in towards the inside of your body. It does for me, so that I can let my sense organs really relax inward and become more and more aware of what's happening inside of my body instead of projecting outward. So what's going on for you right now in your body? How are you feeling emotionally? So notice your belly and your chest and the emotional remnants of the day that might still be lingering. Is there anything there that needs a little tending to? And then we'll do 3 half sun salutations. So being with the breath, you can even keep your eyes closed if you like. Super simple. As you inhale, reach and stretch the arms up and overhead. Feel your feet as you lift the chest a bit. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, bring your body halfway up and bring the shoulders out of the ears. Lengthen the spine. That's the way. Exhale deeply and fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms up, reach overhead. Exhale, release the arms, and continuing, inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, down you go. Inhale, come halfway up, spread the collarbones, look forward a little bit. Exhale, fold again. Inhale again, using your feet, pressing down, come all the way back up. Exhale, release the arms. Last one. Inhale, arms sweep up, reach overhead. Exhale, fold, down you go. Inhale, come halfway up, roll the shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, fold again. Inhale deeply, stretch the arms up and overhead. Exhale, release the arms. We'll move into low lunges now. So I do it a little bit differently. We'll inhale, be here in Tadasana. Exhale, hands together, center of the heart, a little bit of a bow. Inhale, reach and stretch the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. We'll step the right foot back into a lunge, knee down. And this first round, let's pause for a minute. If you like, bring your hand to your thigh. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And here too, you can feel the feet. Always there's the opportunity. So your front foot, you could feel the sole of the foot, maybe even pressing in a little bit into the ground. Your pelvis will probably lift up. And then you might even get a little bit extra stretch by lifting the front of your hips, your hip points up. And then last breath or two, if you like, arms up and overhead. Good. Big inhale. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, step to plank. Exhale, let's come all the way to the ground. However you get there is totally fine. Inhale, find cobra pose. Pause for just a minute. Press the backs of your feet into the sticky mat. And just notice, maybe you notice that if you press down through the feet, then there's almost a rebound action and your chest might lift a bit. Take a couple of deep breaths, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, feel super grounded in the lower part of your body, tops of feet, base of pelvis, big inhale. Good, and then exhale, tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, stretch your right heel up and back behind you. And exhale, step it towards the top of the mat. Take your time. The back knee comes down again. And we're back into our lunge. So hand to thigh to start. Or yes, hands to the thigh. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. And feel your front foot press a bit into the sticky mat. Your hips will probably lift up a bit. And then from there, you might have some space to lift the front of your pelvis, hip point straight up, which will probably deepen the stretch in the back leg. Last breath, if you like, fingertips reach up. Big inhale here. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, straighten the back leg. Exhale, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, bring your body, come halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, press firmly through the feet, sweep the arms up, reach overhead. Exhale, release the arms. Here we go again. Inhale, be here. Exhale, hands together, center of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift the chest. Exhale, slowly fold over your legs. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the left foot back, knee down. Inhale, right away, fingertips lift up. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, step to plank. And once again, let's come all the way to the ground for Sphinx pose. So this time we'll slide the hands forward and the elbows are under the shoulders, the fingers are spread wide. See if you have a tendency like I do to slump a little bit into the shoulders and roll the shoulders back as you press the forearms into the floor. Here too, you can press the tops of the feet into the floor, your thighs will engage, root through the base of the pelvis and see what that does to the lift in the chest, if anything. Because I feel it in my body, obviously doesn't mean you do. So check it out, see how it is. And then like we did on Monday, we'll do a few of those Sphinx roll-ups. So inhale, be here in Sphinx pose. And then wait for the exhale to bring your belly back towards your spine. It will slowly lift off the ground. And then the hips lift off and then the thighs lift off and you're in a forearm plank. Inhale, be here. Exhale, roll slowly, thighs, hips, belly. Inhale, nice Sphinx pose, roll the chest open. Continuing a few times, exhale, lift the belly towards the spine, comes off the ground, hips come off the ground, thighs come off the ground. Push the floor away. Take a big inhale. Exhale, lower slowly, thighs, hips, belly. Inhale, nice open Sphinx pose. And again, exhale, belly back. Hips lift, thighs lift. Inhale in your forearm plank. Exhale, come down. I'll let you do 2 or 3, whatever feels appropriate, just getting a little bit of strengthening through those abdominals and also having the opportunity to be with the breath and do a nice back bend. Maybe one more. It's a deceptively simple pose because I think it's hard. I definitely can feel my core after doing a few of those. And then when you've had enough, let's go ahead and push back to downward facing dog. And as usual, we'll take 3 breaths. So inhale deeply. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale, lift the left heel up and back behind you. Exhale, step towards the top of the mat, no rush. Right knee comes down. Inhale, fingertips up, lift the chest. Exhale, hands down. Nice. Inhale, straighten the back leg. Exhale, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms up, reach overhead. Exhale, release the arms. We'll do a couple more sun salutations. This time, if you want to do the high lunge, go for it. Inhale, be here in Tadasana. Exhale, hands together, a little bit of a bow. Maybe think of the sun. Inhale, reach and stretch the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, step the right foot back. Inhale into a lunge of your choice, knee up or down as you like. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, step to plank. And this time, whatever you like. You can come halfway, you can come all the way. You can repeat cobra or into upward facing dog. And we'll meet in downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale, reach the right heel up and back behind you. Exhale, step it towards the top of the mat. And when you're ready, inhale, come up into your lunge. That's the way. Exhale, hands come down, step forward. Inhale, bring your body halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, press to the feet, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release the arms. We'll do the same thing, leading with the left. Inhale, be here. Exhale, hands together, center of the heart. Inhale, arms reach up, stretch overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, left foot back. Inhale into a lunge of your choice. Lift the chest. Nice. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, step to plank. And same, whatever you like to do. You could even stay in plank. Great. Whole body strengthener. And when you're ready, we'll meet in downward facing dog for 3 breaths. I'll let you take them on your own, breathing deeply, breathing slowly. On your next inhalation, reach the left heel up and back. Exhale, step it towards the top of the mat. Inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms, reach overhead. Exhale, relax the arms. Take a breath or two, feel your body. If you like, you can close your eyes and drop your awareness to the inside of your body. It might be that there are sensations that are really calling your attention. So if so, tend to them. And be sure as well to notice parts of the body that feel well and healthy, which can be for sure more subtle and harder to detect. It takes practice to really notice that most of our body, for most people, is doing well. Okay, we're going to pass through a vinyasa just to transition to some standing poses. So from here, inhale, and then exhale as usual, hands together, center of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, press through your feet, feel a little bit of a back bend emerge. And then exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale again, we'll come halfway up. And then exhale your way back either to down dog or to plank as you wish. And you can come through a vinyasa if you like. All right. And then we're going to do a few lunges or a couple lunges with a little bit more intention than we did in our sun salutation. So we'll start with the right leg. When you're ready, lift the right heel up and back, and then wait for an exhalation, step it forward, and make your way into a high lunge. Let's bring our hands to our hips just for a moment so we can pay attention a little bit more to the legs. The inclination, most of us, and what most teachers say most of the time, is to reach the heel back. Let's play around with that a little bit. So reach the heel back, see how that feels. And then bring the heel so it's right over the balls of the feet and see how that feels. Very different, I think. Do it a couple of times, and you can spend a breath or two in each variation and just notice. So heel back or heel forward over the balls of the feet. I'm going to suggest for today, we'll experiment on the other side too, to keep the heel over the balls of the feet, because that brings a little bit more lift into the pose, you might notice. And then the arms can come overhead. It makes the pose harder, I think, for sure. Take a couple of breaths, let your gaze be at the horizon, soften the eyes, soften the jaw. Even though it's a strong, strong pose, find some ease through the face, the chest, the belly. Really nice. Big inhale. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, make your way to plank, take your time, and then we'll come all the way to the ground and do a few locust poses, Shalabhasana. So starting with your hands by your sides, the thumbs are down, pinkies are up, so the palms are facing each other by the hips. And then when you're ready, inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, root through the base of the pelvis, and then lift the legs. So arms are lifted, legs are lifted. Roll the shoulders down the back, draw the palms towards each other as much as you can. It starts to get really hard. This is another one of those poses that is deceptively simple. Difficult, lots of strength involved. And yet it looks pretty straightforward. Take another breath. And then go ahead and relax, make a pillow with your forearms, rest your forehead down. Let your heels fall away from each other. We'll do a couple of different arm variations. So if we get into an arm variation that's not working for you, feel free to do one of the ones that we've already done. So you can repeat The next one is to have the arms like goalposts. So right angles, coming out. And then when you're ready, same thing, root down the base of the pelvis, feel that really grounding into the sticky mat. And from there, everything wants to lift. Arms lift, legs lift. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back. So the elbows might lift a bit, and you can feel the shoulder blades drawing into the upper ribs. 2 or 3 more breaths. Always feel free to come out a little earlier than I suggest, or stay a little longer. Last inhale, if you can, lift a little higher just for that last in-breath. And then exhale, make a pillow with your forearms, rest your forehead. Let your heels fall away from each other. Feel your body. Feel your breath, maybe slowing it down a little bit. Okay, one more. Last one's the hardest. That's usually how it goes with me. So again, if it's more than you want to do tonight, then feel free to take a different duration. So my arms are in front in a V. Not straight overhead. You certainly could go straight ahead, but mine are in a V. And same thing, palms are touching. When you're ready, root through the base of the pelvis. Feel grounded there. That's our grounding. And then inhale, lift everything up. It's like Superman, except I think he's more pointed, straightforward, a little more adamant, and we're more, I don't know, angelic. The arms are wide, little more spacious. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Feel your inner thighs lift and the base of your pelvis root. Couple more breaths. Last inhale, everything lifts up. And then exhale, take your time, bring your hands under your shoulders. We'll come back through all fours. And you can sway the hips from side to side. And when you're ready, tuck the toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog or child's pose. And we still have the lunge on that other side is coming. All right. As you're ready, the left heel this time reaches up and back and step it forward into the lunge. And we'll start with the hands on the hips just so that we can get into a little bit of feeling the body, a little interoception and experimenting with the sensation of heel back, pressing the heel back, which is often the instruction that's given. And what's it like if you bring the heel over the ball of the foot? And if you can see your screen and you go back and forth, you might just notice how when the heel comes over the ball of the foot, everything lifts up. There's a levitation. The pelvic floor, the chest, and there's a lot more engagement. And then when you feel ready, if you like, the arms come up and overhead. Take 3 or 4 breaths. That looks great, everybody. Couple more. And then a big inhale, lift the chest up a bit more. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, step to plank. And this time, whatever feels good to you in terms of vinyasa, no vinyasa. And meet in down dog or in child's pose. Enjoy a few breaths, feel your body. Let your breaths be long, deep, and smooth. Okay. And then we're going to meet up at the top of the mat. So inhale to prepare, and then exhale, walk, hop, step. Inhale, bring your body halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms, reach up and overhead. Exhale, release the arms. I think now is a good time to get your 2 blocks at the top of the mat. We'll be using them in a little bit, so might as well. And from the top of your mat, let's come into tree pose. So have your right foot up to start. Any variation that you like, toes, calf, or foot into the thigh. And also whatever arm variation that you like. So if you want the arms to come overhead, go for it. See if you can find a place to be where you can bring your gaze to the horizon and then soften the gaze a bit, so that the eyes are relaxing into the skull instead of this sort of projection that our eyeballs are usually doing out towards the exterior world. We're resting them inward. And as we did on Monday, you might notice the wonder of the bottoms of your feet as that foot keeps you in this miraculous position of being on one foot for a pretty long time, actually. Most animals have 4 or more. So what an amazing thing to be on one. Okay, and then let's bring that knee up and in towards the chest. We'll make a couple circles with the ankle and go in the other direction. Nice. Okay, and then we'll do something slightly tricky, which is to step back into that same lunge where we were. So move slowly. You can have your hands to prayer. See how slowly actually can you go as the foot reaches back. The toes, the ball of the feet will touch the ground. And then inhale, come up. If you have the natural inclination, most of us do, to reach the heel back. Let's see, just for today, how about the heel over the balls of the feet? How does that feel? And is there a little more lift through the chest here that would feel good? Here too can be a balancing act, really, especially if you took a long stance forward. All right, let's do a little bit more balance. So bring your hands to prayer or to the hips and look forward. We already have the heel up. So all we need to do now is bend the back knee a little bit, feel some buoyancy, and shift the weight forward over the left foot and come into warrior 3. That's it. The power in the pose really is, it begins in the foot that's floating. Reach out through that heel. So the back leg is fairly straight, or actually, if possible, completely straight, because the engagement of all of those muscles will stabilize the pelvis. And that begins with the sole of the feet reaching back, toes spread, heels and the balls of the feet push back equally. Take another breath or 2. If you want to do a different arm variation like we did in locust pose, feel free. So by the side, goal post, or out in front. Okay. And then hands to prayer, hips probably, we're going to come back up all the way. Knee in. Whew. Okay, nice work. And then let it go. Shake your feet out. Shake your legs. Let's do a few hip circles. So toes are out, heels in, going in one direction and in the other direction. All right. How about tree pose on the second side? Take your time. And I'll suggest again to let your gaze come to the horizon. Let your eyeballs relax, soften into the skull, so that even though we're seeing, the eyes are soft and the attention is directed inward. If you haven't already, you can reach your arms overhead. All right. So nice. Let's bring bring the knee in towards the chest. And we'll make circles with the ankle. Change the direction of your circles. Okay, and then flex that foot. Your left foot's in the air. Flex it strongly at the ankle, through the feet. Slowly, hands to prayer or at hips. Really slowly. Send the leg back. And then it comes down. Balls of the feet touch the ground. And back into that lunge. Experimenting today with how it feels for the heel of the foot to be up a little bit, over the balls of the feet. Lift the chest. Okay. We're already halfway there. So again, we'll do warrior 3 on this side. If you want to bring your hands to your hips or to prayer to move in the pose, feel free. Look forward and little buoyancy in the body and in the legs. We'll begin to bend the back knee generously and shift the weight over the front foot. Engage the back leg as much as you can by pressing out through the heel and up through the inner thigh. It's not always possible to get that back leg straight, but if you can, it's really going to support the pose. It's really going to change everything for you, because that'll mean that all the big muscle groups are engaged and supporting the weight of your pelvis, your center of gravity. If you want a different arm variation, feel free. Another breath or so. Spread the toes, reach out equally through the balls of the feet and the heel and the back leg. And then slowly, slowly staying on that one leg, we'll come back, bring the knee in just for a moment and then let it go. Shake the feet out. Let's do a little bit of floppy dynamic twist just to sort of shake it all out. So I really like to come up onto the opposite heel here. Just keep the leg all in alignment. So we're not sort of jerking at the knee. Giving the body a nice tap, tap. And then let that go ahead and die down. Come back to stand in Tadasana, and let's have a little bit of a reset. So pause, you can close your eyes. Let your eyes recede into the skull, relax the muscles. Soften your jaw, your tongue. Bring your sensory experience to the inside of your body. How are you doing right now? Okay, good. Stay soft. Open your eyes. And we're going to shift again through an option of vinyasa to do just a couple more standing poses. So again, I think you've already got them, but your blocks at the top of your mat, hands to prayer, pause, and we'll go right into it. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach overhead. Exhale, bow forward all the way down. Inhale, slowly come halfway up, roll the shoulders back, press through the feet. That's the way. And then exhale to plank, down dog, coming through a vinyasa if that feels good. Okay, another high lunge. So with the right heel up and back, step it forward. Just come right up into high lunge. We've done it a few times now, so you know. And here's another place where we can experiment a little bit with that back heel. So we're going to take the twist. Let's start with the back heel pressed back. Inhale, be here, lift the chest up. And then exhale, twist over to your right. If you like, you can hook the elbow. Press the palms and turn any amount. And then from here, just to play, bring the heel over the balls of the feet in the back leg and then twist again. And is this different? For me, it is. Getting that buoyancy really helps me to find the twist. Another breath or so. Good. And then inhale as you're ready, back into the high lunge. Take your time, establish yourself. Exhale, bring the hands down. Take your time. We'll step back, down dog, vinyasa, always up to you. Have a few breaths. Enjoy. And then let's see what happens on the other side. So lift the left heel up and back. Exhale, come into the lunge. Fingertips come up. And we're going to start the twist with the heel back, which means that the right hip is also back, which is not really the ideal position to bring the body into the twist. So we're just experimenting. If you push the heel back, inhale, and then exhale, find the twist, take your time. Notice how it feels. Be there long enough so that you really get a sense of it. And then when you're ready, bring the heel over the balls of the feet and re-engage in your twist. Is it different? Okay. And then we'll reestablish this high lunge. Take your time. Whew, I know my leg is getting tired. I'm sure yours is too. Let's come down. Plank, vinyasa, if you like. We've done a lot of vinyasas. We're moving towards the end of class, so feel free to leave them out, always. And then have a rest. If downward facing dog is a place where you can breathe easily and it's not such a big deal, feel free to stay. If it's time to catch your breath and relax your muscles, then please come into child's pose. It's been a lot. We've done a lot. Enjoy 3 or 4 deep breaths wherever you are. And then we'll pull some of these concepts together and do a similar sequence that we did on Monday with the revolved triangle and the revolved half moon pose. You may or may not remember, but let's see how it goes. So this is the most difficult moment in class. We're almost to the floor, to relaxation. Come on into downward facing dog if you're not there. Inhale, reach the right heel up and back behind you. This time we're going to take a shorter stance. So you don't need to come like you're coming into the lunge. Instead, shorter, wider, more stable, more focused on feeling centered. If you feel wobbly, then take your feet closer to the edges of the mat and maybe also shorter. It might be an indication that your stance is too long and we want to be steady here. So inhale, starting with a forward fold, lift the chest. Exhale, feel your pelvis as it rolls over the heads of the femur bones, down you go. And we'll start here in Parsvottanasana, just relax the head, relax the neck. Simple forward fold. Okay. Now, of course, we don't have the heel up, but you might get a similar sensation by really grounding through that back heel, pressing the thigh bone back, really feeling the connection of the heel with the sticky mat. And it's as though through that connection, you're pushing your pelvis forward. If you have the block, have it on the inside of your right foot. And as you use your foot to really push the left hip forward, let it drop down, and then begin to come into a twist. So we're letting the left hip drop today, and then rolling up into revolved triangle, Parivrtta Trikonasana. Perhaps it's a slightly different experience when the back leg is engaged and the hip drops. I find it much more pleasant to do the pose this way. Take a big inhale. You could stay here or come back into the forward fold, or if you're up for one more standing balance, the hardest one of the night, then join me. I'm looking forward. I'm staying a little twisted, but I can come back into the twist when I'm there. I'm popping the back heel up. Same thing, buoyancy in the body, especially the back leg. Weight shifts over the right foot. Left hand comes forward. Left heel reaches back strongly, adamantly. And then you might roll your right shoulder any amount over the left shoulder. And maybe the right fingertips reach towards the ceiling. That's it. I can go to the side. It's a confusing pose for sure. It's a twist, it's a balance, it's everything. That's it. All right. Really nice. Bring your spine neutral again. And then as we've been doing, really slow, a lot of awareness, we'll step back, hands down, back to plank. And then your choice. It might be time that we've done enough of the vinyasa. It might be that another one would feel really good. Okay, so nice. So when you're ready, lift the left heel up and back. And then step it forward, but again, this time we're taking a shorter, wider, more stable stance. Come up. And then just check and make sure that you really do feel stable. It's super important. We don't want to make the pose extra hard just because our feet are too narrow. And then inhale, arms up, lift the chest. Exhale, pelvis rolls over the heads of the femur bones. Down you go, relax the head, relax the neck. Okay, and then if it's not already on the inside of your left foot, go ahead and get your block. Mine's on the highest height. And feel your right leg really ground down. The heel is down, but we're pushing it, and the right hip is going to come forward in space towards the head. And then by pressing down through the foot, let the right hip drop. Let it go down. No teacups. Tip the teacup over. I don't know if you've heard that cue, but we don't need to rest a teacup on the sacrum. And then we're going to twist open any amount. The left shoulder is heading in the direction back behind you. Maybe the fingertips lift. I'm sorry, it's your right hand that's up. So I got that backwards. And then keep grounding down through the right foot. Use that energy and that activation to keep turning the right hip down and the spine into the twist. There's a whole chain reaction happening. Okay, beautiful. Stay here. Come back to the hamstring stretch. Or if you're up for one last standing balance, look forward. Get nice and buoyant, knees are bent. And then we'll shift the weight of the pelvis over the left foot. The right foot lifts, the right hand comes forward with the block. Yes, and then it does help to bring the belly back towards the spine a little bit as you roll the spine over to the left, twisting up into Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon pose. So nice. Good. If at any point it feels like any pose we're doing doesn't benefit you, then of course, come on out. We'll stay here for another breath or so. If you like it, let it be fun, let it be light. And then bring yourself a little bit more neutral. You have all the time in the world to step back, no rush. Feel your body move in space. Take your time. That's the way. And then when you're ready, let the hands come down. Last time, step to plank. Go where you like. Whatever is enjoyable, let it be really sweet, pleasant. It can be those things and be challenging. And let's start to wind down a bit. So wherever you are, deep breaths. Maybe it's a good time for child's pose. We're going to start to bring the nervous system into a little bit more of a relaxation state. So preparing for that as well. Let's all come to child's pose. Good. And we'll do a little bit of a side stretch. So from child's pose, walk your hands over to the right. Let your left hip draw back so that you feel some stretch there through the whole left side of the body. Take a couple of breaths. Last breath or two, if you like, you can bring the left hand in a little bit, maybe even bringing the left hand over the right hand to deepen the stretch. And then make your way back to center and to the other side. So draw back gently through the right hip if you'd like to intensify the stretch. Last breath or two, if you like to deepen, then you might bring the right hand and place it over the left hand, or just walk a bit more to the left with your hands. Okay, and then bring your hands back to center. And then sit up on your heels. If you like, a little challenge, a little stretch for the feet before we make it to the ground, then you can tuck your toes. Sit back on your heels. Like, it can be a lot of stretch for your feet. So just notice how it is and find that balance between having something that's enjoyable that you might like to do again and having something that's effective, that's stretching all of those muscles. We really did a lot of balance. So the feet worked hard tonight. If you like, you can look straight ahead as though we were in a standing pose, nice, stable, lightning bolt pose. You can let the gaze soften. And even though the eyes are open and seeing, the direction of the senses is turned inward. And we allow perception to come in instead of projecting out. So soften, soften. Allow it all in. Okay, and then come forward. Let's come off those toes. If you like, you can give them a little tap, 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 tap in the back. Yes, okay. And then come to seated. It might be really nice to have a blanket. We're gonna do a twist and then a couple of seated forward folds before we head to the floor. So I'm gonna sit up on a blanket and we'll start with Ardha Matsyendrasana. This is the twist. So from here, let's bring the right foot in. The heel is towards the left hip and the left foot comes up and over. And then for some people, this is not comfortable and maybe the hip, would be the left hip is jutting up. And if that's the case, just straighten the leg so it's nice and even. You feel really steady in your seat. And then go ahead, lift the arms up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale, let's twist to the left. You can simply grab hold of the leg. You can hook the elbow if that works for you. The left hand, bring it behind the back and press gently into the fingertips to roll the left shoulder down the back. And then last breath or two, look over your front shoulder, little counter stretch. And let that go. Let's switch legs. Yeah, so get yourself feeling nice and steady in your seat. And again, I often like the bottom leg to come out so that I feel even more grounded and centered. And then inhale, lift the fingertips and lengthen the spine. Exhale, come on into your twist, twisting to the right, hooking the elbow or hugging the knee. Right fingertips right behind your spine. Press into the fingertips, rooting down so that we get even more length. And also roll the right shoulder down your back. So you might even feel a bit of a back bend in the right sort of shoulder armpit area opens up. Last breath or so, let's look over the front shoulder. A little ease and relaxation there. And then release the twist. Come back into Dandasana staff pose. Legs are straight out in front. And then grab hold of the inner knees. Let's bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. And grab hold of your feet like we did last time. And you can give your feet a little bit of a massage. So thumbs come into the arches. You can use your fingertips at the bases of the toes. Massage the bottom of the feet too, the ball nut joints. You can even put your fingers in between your toes, get some space. It's just any kind of little moment or so of loving on your feet, giving them the benefit of your contact and attention. And then before we go into the forward fold, any amount, look at your big inner arches and spread them a little bit. You can even use your thumbs to open them up if that feels good. And reach your thigh bones out in the direction of the knees. So the legs get active. Inhale, arms come up. And then exhale, fold forward, ideally starting that fold in the pelvis and then letting the spine round. So we'll have two qualities happening simultaneously. The strength and stability of the seat, the ground, and if you're still doing it, pressing the thighs out, good. And if not, also good, because the second quality that we want is that of ease, relaxation, sweetness. So simultaneously, steadiness and ease. Okay, take your time, walk your hands back, and let's have legs wide for Upavishta Konasana. This is going to be this one. Legs make a nice big V. And here too, same thing. It's sthira sukha is the Sanskrit. Sthira is strength, stability. So feel your ground. Reach out through the heels so the base is nice and solid. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bend from the pelvis if at all possible so that you can feel yourself roll over the heads of the femur bones. And then when you can't roll anymore, then the hands come down and then sukha, sweetness, ease. Relax the spine, let it round. Let the forehead come down to anything. If you still have your block and the height is right, you might slide the block under your forehead. Steadiness and ease. It's a balancing act. See if you can feel that happening simultaneously in your body for another few breaths. think that's good. See if you can stay soft. Walk your hands back. Bring your hands to the inner knees, and we'll just use the hands to support the legs to come together. Let's hug the knees. You can drop your forehead into the knees and just round your spine. It's like being a kid and bringing everything in like the tortoise, all the sense organs, all the perception, inward, inward, inward. And then slowly, slowly take your time. Let's come onto our backs. And yeah, okay, we have a little bit of time. So let's do just a couple more movements. Super simple, really relaxing. Bring your feet mat distance apart and the knees fall in. I think we did this on Monday too, arms to a T. And then windshield wiper your knees. They both go in the same direction. Moving slowly, no rush. Good. And then the next time that they fall to one side, either one, doesn't matter, let them rest. If you could use a little additional stretch, some people need it, some people don't, then the foot that's in front, you can pick it up and place the ankle over the bottom knee. And then this is a place too where you might reach that bottom knee away from you gently, and you sometimes can feel a stretch through the psoas, which I find a difficult muscle to reach, or at least to feel in my body. Very, very deep hip flexor that we don't want to be too tight. All right. Okay, I love that pose, but eventually we have to come out. So if you've got the knee hooked, go ahead, unhook it, and we'll take it on over to the second side. You can notice if on this side it would feel good to have the ankle over the knee. Sometimes it's different side to side. And then again, the suggestion I have, if you're looking to feel deep into the psoas and give that a little stretch, is to really lengthen that whole side of the body. So you can reach the knee gently away from you. Let the shoulders stay grounded. And it's like we're just stretching out the entire abdominal area on that one side that's a little bit lifted. Okay, and then let that go. Come back up, take your time. Any finishing pose that would feel good. So one that's really nice, especially because we've been paying so much attention to the feet, is to come into happy baby, but you might want to roll around a little bit on your sacrum first and get back into that spinal flexion that we're going to need, and then grab hold of the outer edges of the feet. If you'd rather do a deeper spinal twist or some other pose, of course, feel free, always. Otherwise, into our happy baby and enjoying the feet, the spine, the legs, everything. It's so great to be an adult and to be able to roll around like a baby. We do a lot in yoga, actually, not just this pose. It's really lovely. Okay. Take as long as you like, and then set yourself up for nice shavasana. Could have a blanket or a bolster under your knees. Anything that makes you the most comfortable. Make all your adjustments so that you're just right, just so. Feel the front of your body release into the back of your body. And the back of your body release onto the support of the earth. Allow the front of the brain to release towards the center of the brain. Shavasana. Become aware of your breath, your surroundings, if you're not already. Maybe feeling here a little moment of gratitude for all that's around us and supporting us, in various ways. And then any movement that would feel good to begin your transition. Wiggling fingers, toes, ankles, anything like that. And then bend your knees one at a time. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Take your time, come to your side. And when you're ready, we'll meet up in a seated position. If you like, you can keep your eyes soft or closed for another moment and maybe bring your hands together, center of the heart. Let's allow ourselves a moment to notice how the practice landed in our bodies, in our hearts, in our bellies, and in our minds. And if you notice that you've cultivated some new sense of well-being, a sense of ease or calm, really anything, then pause there. Allow it to seep into every cell of your body. Dwell there just for a moment. On your next inhalation, lift the chest into the thumbs. And as you exhale, surrender the head to the heart. Inhale, lift the chin, release the palms, and allow the eyes to open. Thank you so much for coming. It's really nice to see you all. Linda, I don't know your friend's name. Well, two. We had the perfect dog Zoom moment there for a little while. It's so sweet. Okay, well, anyway, thank you so much. What's your name?
Nathan. I'm her son.
Nathan. Hi, nice to meet you. All right. Well, have a great night, y'all. And I hope that I see you soon. And again, schedule's changing a little bit next week. I'll get it all up in the next day or two. So you'll see.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Have a good night. Bye.
I'm actually
Night,
gonna be,
Katie. Have a good
Okay.
night.
I'm gonna be
Thank
out
you.
of town. I'm gonna be out of town for a week, so I'm just gonna do recorded classes, but don't worry, I'm here. I mean,
Okay.
we're
I'm
gonna
glad
eat
to hear that. We're going to be like, who's coming for a little while? So
I know.
thank you for telling me. All
All
right.
right.
Thanks, Linda.
Bye.
Bye.